Welcome back to Entre Abuelitas, the podcast where wisdom feels like a nice, warm hug. And love, well, love is always our guest of honor. This is Entre Abuelitas, and I am your host and your abuelita, Liliana Montenegro. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for joining us. Muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos semana tras semana. Well, let's get right into it. Let's go into Lily Talk. And what is Lily going to talk about today? What else? It is February of our brand new year 2026. Happy Valentine's to all of you. Now, whether you celebrate or you don't celebrate Valentine's, it is a nice way of being reminded of how simple love can make us truly, truly happy and how important it really is to our lives. I have to be very honest with all of you. I have loved boldly. Well, what does that mean? I have loved more than once, twice, three times, four, five. Oh, even my dog is getting excited here and barking. And you know what? Each time that I got into a marriage or a long time relationship, it was because I truly believed that the universe was sending me that special one, that one person that I was going to love for the rest of my life, who I was going to see my golden years with. And then I realized, well, that the universe has a sense of humor. It didn't work out. But I have to tell you that I did learn a lot from all these marriages. Of course, it comes to a point that you learn in the moment, but you don't realize what you've learned until many years later when you get the choice to get it right this time. I have walked down so many aisles that, let me tell you, I should have frequent walker miles because I've done it. But the thing is, I know it's kind of funny, but I'm very happy about how life is now, because the beautiful twist to my plot is that I have been alone and in a different kind of relationship since my last marriage, and that was like over 10 years ago. It's been a very long time. And you know what I've been doing meanwhile? What I've been doing is I've been taking care of Lily. I no longer need any matching rings or to change my name to satisfy some status quo. No, that's not happening in my life anymore. Right now, it's all about loving me. It's about self-love, loss, healing, and growing into the bravest version of myself that I ever can be, and the most thriving and best abuelita I can also be for my grandsons. Life is truly good, and this particular feeling, this experience, these stories that I carry is what has given me the voice to talk to each and every one of you, to let you know that abuelitas, well, we have so much love that even if we are abuelitas of abuelitas age only without any grandkids, we still have all that wisdom, all that experience, all that time to share stories with you. Because if there is one little hint about maybe a problem that you have that abuelita can solve for you, just by telling a story, but well, then Entre Abuelitas has truly, truly accomplished a big time goal. So keep on listening to us, because another thing that you have to know about Abuelitas is that things have changed. And we talk about this time and time again on every episode. And times have changed so much that nowadays, whether you believe it or not, life is easier for the younger abuelita than it used to be for some of us in the past, or the abuelitas who didn't have it easy. Like, I can only speak for myself when it comes like to my heart. My heart was broken. My heart mended. It shredded in pieces, and then it strengthened to the point that I can say to you, yes, I can talk to you about love. Oh, because I have so much of it. Well, friends, what time is it now? I think that you all know what time it is, and it is time to introduce to Entre Abuelitas the most beautiful person in my life. One of the most beautiful persons in my life. She is a beautiful woman. She is a step Abuelita, and she's going to talk to us about that. But the fact is that every time she walks into a room, a lot of sunshine follow, and I don't care if it is midnight. And she is so popular and such a kind human being that her friends call her and tell her, please don't make any more dates with anyone else because I want to see you. And you know what? Yes, I'm on that list. What can I tell you? I love her to pieces because she's there for me every single time. And because this young and strong woman, this young, strong woman, after a very traumatic experience, found the way to reinvent herself and keep moving forward with boldness and remaining the beautiful human being that she is. So please welcome to Entre Abuelitas, my very, very good friend, and I call her Martita. It is Martha Kraschinsky. Welcome, Martita.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. This is wonderful. I am honored to be here in your program and, talk to everybody about Entre Abuelitas and what a wonderful thing you're doing. And of course, talk about love, right? Which is of love. And I think love is so important to everybody. And I think love shouldn't just be about one day, it's about
Of
every day,
course.
right?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
Entre Abuelitas and us being, younger grandmas too and stuff. I mean, we have so much love to give, right? So,
Yes.
yes, thank you. Thank you. So I'm excited to
Oh,
talk about
you're very welcome. Tell
everything.
us a little bit about who Martita is. I know that Martita is your origins were, and I'm going to say this because I love the name. You are from Jiquilpan, Michoacán, Mexico. I
That's
mean,
right.
that is beautiful. It gave me goosebumps actually. It's on my skin. I'm going to have to make it to Jiquilpan. But tell us
Yes.
a little bit about you and your beginnings.
So I naturally was born in Jiquilpan in Michoacan. It's a little town, and not a lot of people know about it, but Michoacan is a big state, right? But we were just in a very rural area and stuff. It's grown now to be, a city and stuff. I always talk to people about Jalisco or Guadalajara because that's where is the closest main place that everybody knows in Mexico, right?
Right.
Besides being the Mexico City or whatnot. So I was born there. I was brought to the United States when I was 7. But through that time, I did have, my grandma, my mom, my great grandmother,
Oh.
and from my mom's side, and I grew up with them
Talk to
until
us
I
about
was
them. Talk to us about
so
them.
so my grandmother, she was a very tough woman, right? And she always taught us that we always had to set our ground and we always had to be, independent because
Mhm.
she got separated from her husband very early on and she was bitter about it and she was like she made it, noticeable that it was like, and now you have to continue because I'm going to continue with all of you. She was better. She was very loving at the same time, right?
Oh.
She always said,
She was pretty
kind of
strong
talked.
for she was very strong for the times.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about, 70s,
Mhm.
80s or so on of what I can remember, right?
Right.
Yeah. And my great grandmother, her mother,
Mhm. Mhm.
was a sweetheart. She was
Oh.
the different token, right? She was loving and she was everything. My grandma was loving, but she always referred to us with bad words.
Are you
You know?
serious? Okay,
Yes.
I need you to do this because this is an open show and this is for
Yes.
adults. So tell me what would be one phrase that she would call out to you?
Cabronas. Come over here, cabronas. You know?
She was tough.
She was tough, and yeah, she was just like very forward, very strong and stuff, but she was very
Was
lovable.
she like that before her marriage ended?
Yeah, I think she was like that all the time, and she never showed like weakness. She never showed tearing, And just to let you know, when my mom brought us to the U.S. when I was 7, my
Uh-huh.
aunt said that was the first time they saw her cry.
Oh.
Yes, yes. And so it meant a lot to me to know that. I'm like, okay, well, she did love us, more than what
Mhm.
she would
Well,
proclaim, right?
we've talked a little bit in passing in past shows how back in the times in the 50s, 60s, and 70s if it is hard for women now, it was 100 times harder back then. And by the time we were
Yeah,
together with our grandmas during the 50s, 60s, and 70s, they had been around for 30, 40 years since the early 1900s. And the ideology back then is that women were quiet. They attended to the home and the children. They have no rights, no nothing. They couldn't say what they wanted. It was very sad. It was very sad. So for your grandmother to come out and be so strong, she was holding on to so much pain, but at the same time, she was trying to break that cultural baggage, that emotional baggage that we all carry. You know.
absolutely, absolutely. And a little bit, I think, also the background there, which I didn't know. So my great grandmother, she was born, I think, in 1891 or 92, right?
Bless
And she
her.
lived through, she was 100. And I remember being
Oh,
very young. Yes. Yes, and applaud for that for sure.
incredible.
And I remember her being, I mean, she never lost her memory, never lost anything. And I remember me being very young and one time going to Mexico and visiting her, and she's telling me her story. And I won't get into it because it's a long story, but her
Tell us a
husband,
little bit.
yeah, well, her husband, and her, which I know I have maybe some Spaniard in there because they fled from Spain back in those times. He was
Hmm.
in the army and
Uh-huh.
he got captured and he got executed uh,
No.
in battle. Yes,
Oh.
and she had all her kids already.
How
So she
many?
to I think 11.
Dios mío. I know,
Yes,
we know there were no televisions back then. There was nothing to
absolutely.
keep women entertained
Yes, yes.
away from the man.
So I really think my grandma, that's where she got her being strong, right? Her mom stayed without a husband. And she was a widowed young, and she had to carry all her 11 kids,
Oh
right?
my
So
goodness.
yes.
Your mom is which child? On the top oldest or?
No, my mom is the baby.
She's the baby.
She's the
Wow, what a responsibility she took upon herself to feel that way. But then again, it is also part of the times. Whether were there more girls than boys in the family?
I think half and half, maybe one more boy
Mhm.
than
Were the
than
boys meant, because the boys were also meant to feel like they were in charge of the home once anything happened.
oh yes. Yes. Some of my uncles did take that role. Yes, for sure.
Wow. And how long did they live? You said your great grandmother lived to be 100?
100.
Qué
Yes.
hermosa, qué hermosa. I want to get there.
I
Diosito,
know.
please, you taking note? Dear Lord, please.
Yeah, and the beautiful thing that she was sane until the last day, of her life. So
No.
that's beautiful.
Is there one piece of advice that your great grandmother gave you that you remember to this day?
She always said, love yourself, love everybody. She was all about love. Always, always look at yourself and see the beauty in you, not the
Oh.
outside beauty, the inside beauty too.
She was the true testament to Entre Abuelitas. Thank you for mentioning her. And what was her name?
Emanuela.
Emanuela, qué preciosa. Emanuela, if you're listening up in heaven, make it
Yes.
louder. Tell God about
Yes.
us.
Yes.
we have gone through and we haven't even bothered with the questions from my journal. But do
Right?
you want to pick one? I mean, what between 1 and 20? Give me a number and just tell me what you think.
A 3.
3.
Oh
And
boy.
3 says, "Oh my God, I
Uh-oh.
It's pretty radical little statement. But it says back in the time, and it's probably the 70s that it's talking about. I saw many a Polaroid dick.
What? I didn't see many, Lily.
Not many, at least one.
Two. Yeah.
And I know that you keep them in your treasure box, right?
I do. Yeah. Just kidding.
But anyway, we are moving forward because I want to
Yes.
talk to you about coming to the United States. That's quite a break from a child of 7 years old. Not so much of an impact, I don't think, because you're
Right.
a child, you're enjoying. Your parents are the ones in control, making all the decisions. But as the years started going by, did you miss Mexico? Did you miss your town, your familia, or how did you get used to living here?
Yeah, I did miss it, but I didn't really miss exactly Mexico because we were probably pretty poor, but I missed my family, right, who I left behind. But then I remember when we were coming from Mexico, and I'm thinking, oh my God, there is such a big world because, as a child, my world was where I was, where I lived
Limited.
and living it, right? So it was an eye opener and I was kind of eager to learn. I immediately went into school and I liked the English language and, I don't know why in Mexico education is very good, so
Hmm.
I learned the language really quick.
Smart girl. Did you also like the little blonde boys?
Oh, all this time, those were the first ones. Love the colored eyes, the fair skin, the blonde hair.
I've always loved blue eyes. I think they're heavenly. I mean, yes, I can melt over some beautiful blue eyes.
Yes,
But I
yes.
wanted to ask you a question.
Sure,
Um, you have a daughter,
I do.
and tell us about her a little bit, your relationship with her, and how it is that you became a step grandmother.
So, okay, so my daughter is 26 now.
Mm.
She is not because she's my daughter, but you know her, and she is a
Yes.
beautiful, wonderful girl
Sweet.
lady. We have a great relationship. Since we were, since she was born, we I always took care of her, took her on trips and stuff, and she grew up to just be very close to me. So, friends and everything. I became a step grandmother, right now with her. She has a boyfriend and he has two children, right? So
Hmm.
from that side, that's how I became a step grandmother, right? Yeah.
And what is that like to you? Do you get to see them often? And even if you don't, when you do, is that little part of you that goes, ooh, because it's sweet to be considered a grandmother. It's an honor.
Absolutely, absolutely. I do. I enjoy it. I do have these things that the children are beautiful. They're a little shy, so I'm always trying to pass on what my great grandmother would do, give us that love, right?
Hmm.
No matter what. I mean, doesn't matter if we have the blood, but we're family, right? So,
Absolutely.
yes.
Do you spend much time with them? Do you get to see them often or?
Probably once, twice a month. Yes.
Okay. But they identify with you and they know you are grandma. You are
Yes.
Mima in one way or another.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
That is a beautiful love story to show your daughter, who is a young woman, taking off the love of a man who has two children and they're young. That says a lot about her kindness and her heart, that she has so much to give to all three of them.
She does. She does. And like I said, not because she's my daughter, but she loves that. She loves to be a stepmom and stuff. And I mean, she has no children of her own, as you know.
Right.
So, but she's
She's still
enjoying it.
young. She's still young.
Yes.
Now, her dad, that was your first marriage.
My first marriage. Yes.
How old were you when you married the first time?
I was 21.
You were 21, and how long did that marriage last?
About 8 years. Yes.
And and differences, just
It was a beautiful relationship. I think money changed it, to be honest, right? but we had a very good 4 years of marriage. Then he decided to open a company, and I got pregnant, and we had our children, our child, and then from there everything kind of went downhill, right? Just because the company, it just different people coming in, differences of what we were doing. He didn't really let me go into the business a lot, so that was another issue. So that's
That old principle of man, woman, you, me, man, me, woman.
yes, exactly, right.
Damn.
And I was like my grandmother, right? A strong
Mhm.
woman. I'm like, this is not gonna happen, right? I have a say, so I work, I do whatever. So yeah, here I am.
Yes. Now, that came to an end. And how old were you then?
20, 28, maybe 29.
And
Yeah.
by the time you met who I think was your prince,
Yes.
your love,
The love of my
the
life.
love of
Yes.
your life, how old were you by the time you met him?
Probably about 30.
So
Yeah,
it was a
maybe
couple of
29,
years
30. Yeah. Yeah.
because I'm going to tell the story to everyone. I
Yes.
was a bartender for over 40 years. It was always my part time job, my extra money. And at this time, I was working at a golf club in Simi Valley. And you get to meet the members, and you talk to them, and you find out. And one day, there's one of these frequent members comes in, and he says, "Lily, you need to meet my Martita. I love my Martita. I want you guys to be best friends." And he was just on and on about Martita, Martita, Martita. And I'm going, damn, she must be Latina because that Martita doesn't sound very Americano to me. But anyways, all of a sudden, he goes into another room. And as I look to my right, I see this beautiful young woman with long brown hair and a cute little white top with a smile
Oh,
that reached from
oh,
ear to ear, and so in love with my beautiful friend, Jerry. Talk to me about that love.
wow. That was an amazing love. It is still an amazing love, right? I call it a physical love now, right? And you'll learn why. But it was beautiful. He is the person that made me believe in me again, right? After going through a very tough divorce. Mind you, that in my first marriage, when you get married in the first time, you go in thinking it's forever.
Of
Is
course.
for life, especially when you have children, right? I had my daughter, my everything, right? So I wanted to stick with that
I
relationship.
have an everything
Didn't
too.
work. Yes. Exactly, right? So you
Yeah.
know exactly. So it's so difficult. So, but
Yes.
he made me believe in me and that I was a woman and that I could continue. And I'll never forget, he said, you're beautiful, not just outside, but inside too, and it brought my family, my great grandmother to tell me like, there you go. You have beauty. You're a strong woman and you could do it and you can go. And he was my power.
And
He was the person that took me and gave me that push. And totally fell in love with him, believed in me. And with him, everything was possible.
that
Everything was.
is that is that one true love story that we some of us don't get lucky enough to get. But soon after you met him, how long was it that you got married?
Well, we kind of did it the different way because we both had our divorce. So we moved in together first. And we lived like for 2 years, we dated for 2 years, and then we got engaged for a year, and then we got married. So by then, we've been together 5, 6 years already, right?
Hmm.
Yes, yeah.
And you decide to leave California, both of you,
Yes.
having great jobs, a beautiful home. I mean, you had everything, everything. You had the love of your life, the man of your life. Everything was with you. Your daughter was with you. Life couldn't be better. And you moved to Arizona.
I did move to Arizona,
What
yes.
happens then?
Well, we moved here in 2015, had a wonderful life. beautiful home, very, very blessed. He belonged to a golf club. He was doing everything, and I don't want to cry, but the day I said, I have everything, he suddenly passed away. So, I felt like that was, why did I say that? I always feel like, why did I say that? Right? I shouldn't have said that.
No,
When I had everything. God's came
I
back.
know.
I don't think so.
No, the thing is that
you know?
you can't think that way because we're not that powerful. God is powerful. He
Yeah.
is the one that decides. I mean, what a gift to have loved, though you did lose at the end the person that you loved. Um, when he passed away, what what surprised you about how you reacted to the whole situation? Because here you are, now you're a widow, you're a young woman, you have loved him so much. How do you go on?
Honestly, the love that he gave me here in this physical world, the fact that I had a couple of dreams with him where
Oh,
he's giving me this peace feeling, right? And overall, everything that we used to talk about, that he always ingrained in me that I could do it, that I was a powerful woman, that I was very smart. I mean, everything that he gave me. And even though it was a very lumpy and hard situation, because this has been 5 years ago that he passed,
right.
I just grabbed, the love of the children, the love of my family. My family has been instrumental in all this. They don't leave me alone. They've always, supportive and stuff. And love carried me. Love carried me. And I love him. I still love him, right? So
No, I love him. And I always loved Jerry. He always had such a happy attitude. And we do know that at the very end, he was sick and he made a choice. And that choice is, that's the best way that he saw how to make your life easier, believe it or not, and leave this world, but leave you in a way that you could move forward. But what is the one thing that you could pinpoint about Jerry that you think of and still makes you smile?
the songs.
Oh,
He used to sing for me, and he made it a point to change the words. And at that time, I didn't know many of these words, and I really thought they said that. And when we got married and I started listening to the words, and then I go, wait, time out. That doesn't say that. And he said, I modified it, honey, for you.
ay, qué
So
bello.
when I hear the music, it just brings laughter and tears at the same time.
Now, how does the love that you had and the love that you lost shaped you into the woman that you are today?
Well, I think it just has shaped me just because I think that even though he's not physically here,
Right.
I think that I still feel connected with him, and I still
Yes.
feel like that can keep. And I think another part of that has shaped me, that I'm looking into the future, that I'm hoping that I will see him again, right?
Ay, tan
When
linda.
it's
We're going to have a party because I was
We
at your
will,
wedding and that was
absolutely.
the most beautiful, beautiful wedding. I will never forget. It was such a beautiful night. It was nice and warm. It was
Yes.
just amazing. And the one thing that Jerry always said, he said, Lily, I want you guys to be best friends. And how can we let him down? We have kept our promise to him.
And we have, and I'm very, very honored and love you so much, and I'm so glad.
Oh,
And see, again, that's where he makes me go so strong, right? He left me with you and with other friends that have been friends forever, right?
yes.
It's so
Yes.
beautiful. Yes.
Now,
So,
really quick, you mentioned about grief, and grief is very personal. So, what has surprised you about your own journey?
well, what I it surprised me that regarding of everything, I've grown and I've learned to live and accept, my grief, And I first thought I would never be able to laugh. I would never be able to live. But you know what? Thank God I have. And now I laugh, I party, I love in a different way, but I still do, right? And everybody takes it at their own time. And I always say, take it at your own time. But there is light at the end of the tunnel.
And you have been lucky enough also to have fallen into a place where there's a community of women that support you, that stand by you, that
Yes.
are there for you to keep you happy and make and do little trips here and there. Of course, we still owe each other our trip for this year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we
Yes.
do. But look at this. We have talked for a little bit over half an hour, and I
Yes.
am so happy that you're doing so well. You know, when I said that I see that beautiful young woman with a white blouse when I first saw you years. Well, when
Yes.
was that? Like when you met him? How long? When was that? What year?
It was in 2007, 2008.
Look at
Yeah.
that. So we've known each other for 17, 18 years
Yes.
since the
That's
day you
amazing.
met Jerry.
Yes.
And when I see in my mind the beautiful young woman that was looking at me that
Oh,
day,
thank you.
and I look at you now, you're even more beautiful. And
Oh,
you
thank you,
carry
darling.
you carry your love for Jerry high and mighty, and I know that he sees it, I know that he feels it, and I know, like you said, that you will meet one day, but not yet because we still have a lot of partying to do.
Right, I know.
But listen, you're an amazing young lady, and I say young because actually we have become best of friends, but
Thank
you
you. Yes.
are my daughter's age.
Yes. Yes.
And that is pretty incredible to me how God gifted me with you.
Oh, thank you.
There
Oh,
are, yeah, it's pretty. I must have done
thank
something
you.
right along with everything that I did wrong. You know?
No, you never did anything wrong,
No,
Lily. You just
it's
live and learn.
okay.
Live
Just
and
live and
learn.
learn, live and learn. And on that note, I would like you to give us a few words of goodbye to Entre Abuelitas. We thank you so much for being with us and sharing your story of love, loss, and reinventing yourself still after the loss of your beautiful husband, Jerry. So, what can you tell people about love?
Well, enjoy, love to the fullest. Don't ever stop. Say it when you want to say it. And never go with your partner to bed angry. Remember when there's bad moments, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And always
Mm-hmm.
transpire that what you're saying is due to love. Don't stop. Continue. Love everybody that you have and enjoy them to the fullest because today is today. Today is the present. And that's why it's called the present, because it
Mm-hmm.
is a day. Take a day by day. Enjoy uh, the Valentine's. Enjoy everything. Happy Valentine's to everybody. And remember, it doesn't have to be Valentine's to love. Love every day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, mi Martita preciosa. Feliz Día del Amor a ti, a toda tu familia, a tu hija, a tus step grandkids, a tu grandkids. But we have to remember, ladies and gentlemen who are listening to Entre Abuelitas, that love, before you love anyone, you have to start with yourself. Because if
Absolutely.
there is one thing that abuelitas know for a fact, is that you cannot pour coffee, no cafecito, from an empty cup. You got to
Very
fill up before you give it out. So remember, love yourselves like no one else. I love you. Thank you for joining us in Entre Abuelitas. Thank you, Martha Kraschinsky. Thank you for loving me, for being my friend. Thank you to all of you. Happy
Thank you.
Valentine's. Love each other. Love the world. And come back and visit. I'm Liliana Montenegro, and this has been Entre Abuelitas. Gracias, mi amor.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Nos vemos.
Bye. Love you. Bye.
Bye.